What is up, guys? You know who it is. It's Chris. Welcome back. Welcome back to my reaction. God damn it. Guys, I washed. God, I washed my face with a soap just a while ago, and then I put my nose. I put my nose. I mean, I put my finger inside my nose with a soap. It burns fuck a lot. It burns fuck a lot. You know what I'm saying, bro? But hey, today we're gonna be reacting to. Today we're gonna be reacting to Agent Orange, Vietnam War, very simple history. You know the drill, guys. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button for post notifications. Also, if you have any suggestions, comment down below. Yeah, let's get into the intro.
This episode is sponsored by Magellan TV. Check out their documentary streaming service to learn even more about history. They have the largest collection out there. Their platform has many high-profile videos and documentaries. We highly recommend that you check out Combat Machines. This is the ultimate show for military vehicles and weapons buffs. In this episode on the Vietnam War, witness how the Americans used their firepower in the form of jet fighters, helicopters, and river patrol boats to try and stop the North Vietnamese stream of supplies and fighters coming down the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Magellan TV is a unique streaming platform focused entirely on bringing historical content not found anywhere else on the web. With over 3,000 documentaries, movies, and series, some available in 4K high def, there is something for every history lover, from early wars to space exploration. They add new content weekly, so you'll never run out of stuff to watch. Simple History viewers will get 30% off an annual membership and a 2-week free trial to make sure you love it first. This is also available to returning members, so if you've let your membership lapse, you can still claim this offer. The savings are huge, and with 30% off, it means that the monthly cost is only $3.50 for over 3,000 plus documentaries. Worth it, even if you only watch one documentary a month. Click on the link in the description to try Magellan TV now. You'll be glad you did. Agent Orange, Operation Ranch Hand, 1962 to 1971. The Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was one of the toughest challenges that the United States Armed Forces had experienced in its history. They faced an enemy that fought in an unconventional manner. Even though the Americans and their allies, the South Vietnamese, had superiority in the amount and quality of weaponry, their enemies had other completely different advantages. The Vietnam War was fought almost completely in jungle terrain, which the American soldiers were not adapted to. The thick jungle prevented the use of armored units, aggravated logistics, and...
I would be posting not much in this story, in this video, but hey, Americans, see, here's the thing, Americans wasn't like trained enough to fight in jungle warfare, in guerrilla tactics in jungle warfare, at that time, because also, guys, like, they used the patriotic as a way to recruit Americans to fight this war. So you could see that these people, some of these people, like, aren't trained enough, they're just hop in there just because they're patriots, hop in the war itself because they were told it would be like a honor something if you fight for your country, but hey, also to stop the commies and shit, you know what I'm saying, bro. But hey, here's the thing about Vietnamese, they're so good at creating unconventional weapons, they're so good at creating like spears, bamboo spears that is planted below the grounds and shit, the traps. They're so good at it, combined with the poisonous snakes, poisonous bugs, in the jungles and shit. It's very harsh, bro. That's why Americans suffered a lot in this war.
Limited the use of the Air Force as support. All of these difficulties held back the U.S. forces from exploiting their fighting potential to its full extent. On the opposite side, soldiers of the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese Army used all the jungle's features to their advantage. The density of foliage and bushes provided unlimited possibilities for guerrilla warfare. In the jungle, the VC and NVA could go into hiding, prepare ambushes, and set up booby traps. but also allowed them to approach the American bases unnoticed, therefore holding their enemies in a constant state of increased awareness. Undoubtedly, the jungle terrain was a tremendous obstacle for the Americans in fighting the war. For that reason, they fought it by all means possible. The best, but also the most controversial weapon in their arsenal were chemical defoliants, such as Agent Orange. The experience of the British Army in crushing the Malayan uprising was of great help to the South Vietnamese in the early stages of the war.
It's a herbicide,
One technique
right?
passed on by the British
Agent
was the
Orange.
process of jungle defoliation. By doing this, the British deprived insurgents of a natural hideout, an idea that could have worked in Vietnam as well. Unable to conduct such an operation by themselves, the South Vietnamese asked the United States for help. On November 30th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy approved the use of herbicides in Vietnam.
Yeah, herbicide.
Operation Ranch Hand had begun. The operation had two primary objectives:
Fuck,
to
still
deny the
burns,
enemy
bro.
from
What the
using
fuck?
thick jungle vegetation as cover, and to deny them access to food crops. After conducting effective defoliation experiments, 6 Fairchild C-123 Provider aircraft, adapted for the spraying of chemical agents, landed on January 7, 1962,
Yo.
at the Tan Son Nhut Air Base in South
Uncle
Vietnam.
Sam ain't
6
playing
days later,
around.
they started
1960s,
operational
you know?
missions.
They don't
The
play
operation
around.
that started in 1962 lasted for 9 years. The average sortie comprised 3 to 5 C-123s flying in formation, each spraying an area of land 260 feet or 80 meters wide and 10 miles or 16 kilometers long.
No escape for
For this
that.
task, the Fairchild C-123 Provider aircraft were fitted with tanks inside the fuselage and spray nozzles on the wings. In the beginning, operations were limited to the jungle along the major highway north of Saigon, mangrove forests near the coast, and rice farms in the Mekong Delta. The purpose of the task was to deny the insurgents cover for ambushes and using mangroves as building material and food. The number of sorties increased over time, as did the area of operations. The real increase occurred after the Gulf of Tonkin incident and the more active role of the United States in the war.
Pause.
A detachment of aircraft were deployed to Da Nang.
You know, from what I've heard this, I don't know if it's true. The most deadliest, like, position you have in Vietnam was those people who dug tunnel ruts, you know, who disabled bombs in tunnel ruts, you know, tripwires and shit, you know. Those were the deadliest because you have to actually go inside the tunnel. You never know what's inside there, you know what I'm saying, bro? I ain't going nowhere about that shit.
Air Base to operate against the Ho Chi Minh Trail. From 1966, Da Nang became the main base for spraying operations. By the end of the operation, 4 more air bases were added to the list. From 1965, the number of sorties rose exponentially. The highest number of sorties conducted in 1968 were around 5,700 missions, spraying over 5 million gallons, or well over 19 million liters of herbicides on an area of
Damn,
about
bro,
7,900
that's a lot.
square miles, or 20,000 square kilometers. 95% of all spraying missions were conducted by Fairchild C-123s of the 309th Spray Flight, which later changed its name to the 12th Air Commando Squadron. Flying a spraying mission was a perilous job. In order to make an accurate spray of herbicides on designated areas, planes had to fly very low, about 150 feet above the ground. They
Not
also
for
had to fly
somebody
at a
to
slow
fly
speed of
a
130 miles per hour on a
rocket,
straight and level flight path.
Is it
Not
enough?
only was it a challenging task, but it made the aircraft
Anti-air.
highly vulnerable to enemy anti-aircraft fire
Yeah.
from the ground. The most challenging missions were in War Zone D, where the confined space and small target areas forced pilots to engage in dive bombing maneuvers. Besides Fairchild C-123s, modified Bell UH-1 helicopters also performed air spraying tasks. On the ground, herbicides were sprayed from trucks and hand sprayers, especially around U.S. military bases. There were several herbicide agents that the military used for its missions. The herbicide known as Agent Blue was used for missions against rice farms. For defoliation missions, Agent Green, Agent Pink, and Agent Purple were used until
Fuck this Power
1966, after which they were replaced with the more effective Agent Orange and, to a lesser extent, Agent White. Without a doubt, Agent Orange was the most exploited herbicide of the Ranch Hand operation.
Yeah.
Agent Orange was a 50-50 mixture of 2 herbicides, 2,4,5-trichlorophenoxyacetic acid and 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Both herbicides were experimented with during World War II by the United States Department of the Army and were planned to be used against Japan. When applied, Agent Orange caused the drying of foliage. After spraying, the foliage dropped completely after 3 to 8 weeks, after which it would not grow for the next 4 to 6 months. Agent Orange, being oil-soluble, was effective during rainy seasons as it couldn't be washed away. Herbicides similar to Agent Orange were used in farming, but in Vietnam the concentration used in defoliation missions was 13 to 55 times higher. What made Agent Orange extremely dangerous was its byproduct, 2378-tetrachlorodibenzo-P-dioxin, or TCDD, the most toxic compound of all dioxins. TCDD had a high impact on human health, causing a series of health problems such as cancer, birth defects, and other disabilities.
Oh,
It was exactly these issues that
so that's why there's the effect of Agent Orange is still like working to this day, you know. There's a lot of like child with defects when being born here in Vietnam, right? Like, bro, there's a lot of those childs with defects still being born to this day in Vietnam, right, bro? God damn, Uncle Sam, I'm playing.
ultimately ended Operation Ranch Hand. Of a great significance was a study by the United States National Cancer Institute that indicated serious health problems caused by Agent Orange. The public disapproval of using herbicides and fund cutting forced the Army to stop using Agent Orange in mid-1970. On January 7, 1971, the last mission of Operation Ranch Hand was carried out. During 9 years of the Ranch Hand operation, nearly 20 million gallons of agents were sprayed on 30,000 square miles, or 77,000 square kilometers of forests and agricultural land. Of that, over 60% were treated with Agent Orange. It was estimated that around 20% of the jungle in South Vietnam was sprayed at least once with Agent Orange. The military assessed the results of the operation as highly positive, reporting that the horizontal visibility increased up to 70% and vertical visibility by as much as 90%. It was a result of great importance for the safety of American soldiers and the effectiveness of their operations in the field.
And yet,
In real terms, the operation wasn't as effective as the numbers showed.
you guys,
Vast areas of jungle had been defoliated as well as tons of rice crops.
Come
But
on,
the Viet
guys,
Cong would
like-
always find new hiding places, sources of food, and material for rebuilding their infrastructure. Regardless of its actual military effectiveness, Agent Orange has definitely left an enormous mark on Vietnam. The trace left on the ecosystem was huge, even though dioxin has a low half-life in the soil of between 3 to 5 years. Only in the late 1980s did the environment show significant signs of revitalization after the systematic reforestation campaigns. The most tragic consequence of Agent Orange and other herbicides were its effects on humans, which has been documented by several studies. According to Vietnamese documents, the exposure to dioxin because of Agent Orange spraying has caused health problems for an estimated 3 million Vietnamese citizens, of which 400,000 either died or ended up with serious disabilities. Especially striking was the fact that about 500,000 children were born with birth defects in the years after Operation Ranch Hand had finished.
that's so bad.
With a half-life of up to 20 years inside the human body, there's a firm belief that dioxin also induced genetic defects among the population in areas most affected by Agent Orange spraying. Apart from the Vietnamese, Agent Orange has caused serious health problems for Americans and South Korean veterans. During the war, soldiers employed on jobs of handling and mixing agents for missions, and those who fought in areas with treated defoliants were assured that there was absolutely no threat to their health. However, on their return home, veterans suffered from health problems and had children born with birth defects. They pinpointed it to their exposure to Agent Orange. Regardless of the authenticity of numbers and the accuracy of reports, 9 years of intensive spraying with herbicides such as Agent Orange has left a devastating mark on the people and land of Vietnam. Yet another tragic story of the Vietnam War.
That's bad, you know. Yo, guys, that's Agent Orange by Simple History. Yeah, I feel bad for the children, you know. God damn. I feel bad for the Vietnam people. Vietnamese people. Right. The most, in my opinion, my opinion, not that I think it's facts. Opinion. America didn't win that war. You know, America didn't win that war because their main goal was to not let communism take over Vietnam, right? But in the end, Vietnam was taken over by communism. Also, yeah, they caused a lot of casualties to Vietnamese people, but hey guys, you win a war by achieving your goals, your objectives. But at the end of the day, they didn't achieve their objectives, you know, they didn't complete the objectives and shit. So yeah, America loses this war. Shocking. But hey, you know the drill, guys. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button for post notifications. Yeah, it didn't burn a lot now. Also, comment down below if you have any suggestions. Check out my playlist for more reactions. I'll see you guys soon.